This is Umar BoxNation in association with Global Next Trade, and we're here the day after in New York City. And I actually remember interviewing you at the Copper Box on your debut, just after.
In the changing room.
Dwayne Green?
Yep, correct.
And to see the whole journey firsthand for myself, from there to now where you've got Puerto Ricans, you've got your own British fans, your Pakistani fans, your Mexicans, your Americans, all embracing you around the world because of what you did. You crossed over last night. So to see that from the start is kind of remarkable. How do you assess it?
Just blessed, man. Forever blessed. I knew coming over to New York and doing the crossover from UK and Saudi boxing to America, it's a whole different kind of league out here when it comes to the boxing purists and the common fans of boxing over here, of sport. You know that you have to entertain here. They want to see knockouts. They want to see the brutality of the sport. And that's why I always said in my interviews leading up to this fight, it's not a case of bouncing back from the Adames fight and just getting a win and nicking it. It's the case of coming over here, doing what the likes of Khan did against Malinaji and doing of what Naz did when he come to New York. So that was kind of the blueprint I was following, and I'm pretty sure I did the stat.
Yeah, look, I was just saying to your team, we were chilling here last night, and I was saying to your guys, I'm trying to think of recent British performances and wins in America. And look, Naz had his spectacular win over Kevin Kelly. And the only one that I've sprung to mind was Fury's win over Wilder. The second fight where he demolished him. Since then, I can't remember a better British performance in America.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Umar. I appreciate that. It's kind of mad when you mention it in the same sentences as those great performances and those great world champions as well. So what I did this week was I learned to enjoy it a lot more. I learned to take it in my stride a lot more. I was very concentrated, but at the same time, I was way more experienced from the Adames fight, knowing that I can go in there with a world level operator and do what I got to do. And yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence going into the fight.
Just to touch on the first point I made about now this becoming a global thing.
Yeah.
How important is that to you to appeal to, not, as I just said, your British fans, and obviously you box in the Middle East, etc., but breaking through America, now you go through so many wider communities and kind of representing everyone as a world figure. Is that important to you?
Extremely important, because I've always said I stand for being someone who's more than just boxing or a boxer. I use boxing as my job, and I use it as a platform to kind of elevate myself to help others. And listen, the British fans have been there since day one. So till the end of, not my career, but the end of my life, they will be with me. They're with me wherever I go. So yeah, forever thankful to them. But now I've made that crossover. I've kind of been opened up to a whole new world, a whole new, like I said, dimension of boxing fans. And it's only gonna make my career more successful.
A lot of the questions I was asking Frank in the lead up to this fight was, how do you feel about Hamzah moving up to a new weight? First time with Andy Lee, first time in America. A lot of changes. Do you think he's going to be able to cope with that all in one go? How did you manage that?
What helped was when I first linked up with Andy and met him, he was someone who's been there, done it, seen it, got the t-shirt, as they say. So I'd speak to him a lot about it when I was in the gym with him and was working in the gym on the pads and whatnot. I'd speak to him about it, little things, not deep conversations, just little picky things, and then I'd process them, and then I'd kind of play out a scenario in my head of how it'd be for me. And it was like I've already been there. You know how they say manifestation and whatnot? It was like I've already been there. I was envisioning it. So that helped a lot. But there was a lot of questions going into this fight, like you said as well. There's a lot of questions. The changes I made.
The stick you got from the Adames fight.
The stick I got from there. But the good thing about these changes were they were made by myself. They weren't influenced by anyone else. They were made by myself. So if I did fuck it all up, it was only going to fall down on me. So it was a decision I made and a decision I had to stand on, and one that I thought was correct, and it showed to be correct.
In terms of last night, watching the first couple of rounds, I thought you guys were both doing some good work. He was landing a good jab.
Yeah, very good
that
jab.
I was kind of a bit surprised
very
about.
Very good jab, yeah.
And I could see you were both a little bit cautious at times and wary of each other's power.
Yeah.
How did you see the first 2 or 3 rounds?
I thought he was going to come out steaming.
Same.
I genuinely thought that. That's why I was like long and on the defensive. So then when he was taking his time, I had to adjust. All right, cool. I can't lunge in. I can't throw the same type of jab all the time that he can read it. I had to switch these things up. My balance has to be good. So if you see my balance from this fight to my other fights, completely different. And then I remember in the sit down I had with him, the face to face to build up to the fight, the DAZN one, I said to him, I promise you, when we're in there, I'm going to talk to you. You're going to be hitting me on my arms, and I'm going to be speaking to you. When I said it in the interview, then I see something happen to his face. So I read it then. And then when I was in the fight yesterday, I was like, fuck it, let's see what he's got. So I went on the ropes, took a few shots, nothing of it. And I said to him, I was like, come on. I don't know what I said. I must have called him a pussy or whatever it was. And he spoke back to me, and then I was like, yeah, we're in a fight now. We're in a fucking fight. And in the next round, I done the same thing, and I heard him. He made a remark like, oh, shit, or something like that. And then I knew I broke his spirit. So then I come back to Andy in the corner, and I said to Andy, if I press this guy, I can knock him out.
So was this after the 3rd round?
Third, yeah, before the knockdown. So I said to Andy goes, do it. He goes, I can see it as well, do it. So that's the difference between having a coach who hasn't been in there and a coach who has been in there. They trust the fighter's instinct.
Well, a question I asked you when we were walking along Times Square on the Friday after the weigh-in is, I've said you've got freakish power.
Yeah.
But my question to you was, will that translate at super middleweight? Yeah. Well, you answered it last night. So let's just talk through the finish. I've got it here.
Yeah.
Which has gone viral, by the way.
Yeah, I know, man. Crazy views. Yeah, that little burst of that combination I threw, the first hook, I see him like stiffen up, and then I was like, fuck it, let me just throw a few more shots. And it was kind of like a David Benavidez inspired esque, you know what I mean? Not that it was as good as that, but that kind of esque. And I don't know, there was something in me yesterday mentally that was not gonna let me lose. Was not gonna let me lose at all. And I was a possessed man going into that ring.
Do you think that the fight should have been stopped earlier by the ref or his corner?
I do for the health and safety of Edgar Berlanga, but then for my own benefit, I was glad it wasn't stopped early, because then there were no questions asked. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that it's been stopped early, he could have gone on, he got up against Canelo and went 12 rounds, so he would have done it against Hamzah. So from a selfish perspective, I'm very happy that it continued and I got to really put the final nail in the coffin. But for health benefits and health reasons, I'm not happy on his behalf.
Have you heard an update? Is he all right, Edgar
I
Berlanga?
messaged his dad this morning.
He's good?
I messaged his dad. I just said, listen, there's no hard feelings. I understand this is boxing. I said, I've been where he's been, like getting these trolls on social media. So just tell him the main focus is for him to provide food on his family's plate, and I hope everything's well. And he replied, yep, no hard feelings, we're all good, and thank you very much. So mutual respect.
He sold the fight brilliantly.
And I didn't have to do anything. So, and I think he kind of had to do that because I was coming into his backyard. But to be fair, they showed up for him yesterday. They showed up for him. There was a lot of support for him. When Michael Buffer announced my name in the ring, I remember, when he announced his name and I heard the roar, and then when he announced my name and I heard the boos, I was like, all right, let's go. We're in a hostile environment, but, I don't mind that.
Well, a lot of stars showed up last night from the boxing world, and a lot of people on social media in terms of big figures are now calling for a fight with you and Canelo. We've got to see what happens with Canelo and Crawford.
Yeah.
You are the WBC mandatory.
Yeah.
That fight with Canelo Alvarez, because I believe you think he'll beat Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
Do you go into that next without a fight in between? Do you wait for that next year?
It's too long of a wait, I think. Personally, I think it's too long of a wait. But we'll see what His Excellency, we'll see what Frank Warren, we'll see what Spencer, Adil and the team say. We'll sit down and we'll see what is the most sensible thing to do. For me, is to fight, stay active. But yeah, what position to be in?
Where would you like that fight to be? The interim one?
The one before?
Yes.
Oh, wherever. Wherever, I'm not too fast.
Do you want a homecoming in the UK or?
That'd be nice. Maybe up north, Manchester. I've always wanted to fight up in Manchester. The furthest I fought away from London in terms of the UK is Birmingham.
Ryan Kelly.
Yep. So I'd love to maybe fight up north in Manchester. I've got a lot of support there. Or back in Riyadh or wherever it may be, back in America. I have a gum shield and I will travel.
Now you've become a star. You take Canelo and Crawford out of the equation. I'm looking at the super middleweight division.
It's a bit tricky, isn't it?
Who'd you go in with?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. I swear. There's not known first. Normally, there's names that spring to mind.
Can I put something to Chris Eubank Jr.? If the fight with Conor Benn doesn't, I mean, it looks like it will. Yeah. If that doesn't materialise, look, we've talked about Eubank Jr. to death, but would you entertain that?
100%, 1,000,000%. I'd be a fool not to. It'd be a massive fight in the UK, especially after what I done last night. But listen, it's not a fight I'm chasing. I was ringside at his and Conor Benn's fight, and I have a lot of respect for them both for providing a fight of that magnitude and portraying the brutality of boxing. So my respect for them both has gone up. But yeah, a fight I would like to have one day. But one I'm not chasing. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
A couple of more things. Look, on Canelo and Crawford, Frank, your promoter, last night said that you beat both.
Yeah.
Now, which is a huge statement.
Yeah.
We're talking about 2 pound for pound greats.
Yeah.
If it is Canelo, you said in a press conference last night, no Tom and Jerry stuff. You're gonna stand there and trade with him.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
How does that fight go in your mind with Canelo?
I couldn't tell you because I haven't even envisioned it like that.
You've not thought about it ever?
No, I swear to God, my Edgar Berlanga was like I was a possessed man. But off the cuff, talking of it now, I'd be smart about things. I wouldn't go there and just have it out with him. It'd come to that, yeah, definitely. But I wouldn't try to do a William Skull. You know what I mean? I'd give myself the best chance, and my best chance is by hitting him as hard as I possibly can and as often as I can as well. Not trying to be too technical about things, and just by doing what I do. But it'll be entertaining. That's one thing I can guarantee. Even if I was to go out on my shield, I'd rather go out on my shield and get knocked out than have a performance like William Skull did.
Okay. Well, listen, that is one of the biggest fights in boxing. I think that could be made. But we've got to see what happens September 13th.
Absolutely, yeah.
Between Canelo and Crawford. I'm sure you'll make the trip to Vegas.
Yeah, no, I'll be there.
Look, as I said, there's the whole boxing world has been giving you so much praise. There has been one person with some negative comments. Your old mate, Carlos Adames. So this is what he had to say. He's had plenty to say to your dad on messages as well.
Yeah.
But mark my words, the day Canelo tries to fight me will be his retirement.
Who?
Adames.
If Canelo tries to fight him?
If Sheeraz wants it, I'll move up to 168 to fight him.
Yeah.
But all of you know where fights are signed. It's not by typing behind the phone. I'm the best middleweight and super middleweight on earth.
Yeah. Do you know what the harsh reality of this is? No one's interested in him. And great fighter. I had a draw with him. I'm not discrediting his boxing skills at all. But no one is interested in him. And it's as simple as that. And unfortunately, if you don't come nowadays with a business aspect, or you sell tickets, or you can genuinely generate interest, unfortunately, it's just not going to happen for you. And he's what, WBC World Middleweight Champion as well.
Did you guys discuss the rematch?
Yeah, we did, and he outpriced himself straight away. I think because he thought, all right, cool, I'm the man now. I've had a draw with Hamzah in Riyadh, being the golden boy of Saudi. Right, I can demand this, and I'm going to get it. But like I said, no one's interested in him, so he can't demand that. And it's the harsh reality of the sport. I'm not discrediting his boxing, and I'm sure 99.9% of the people out there will agree with me. But that's the harsh reality of the sport.
Okay. Just a closing thing I want to say personally, I thought your press conference last night was as good as your performance.
Oh, do you reckon, yeah?
In the ring. Because that could have got to someone's head in the moment.
Yeah,
come to America, you had so much stick before.
Yeah.
You blasted a hometown favourite out.
Yeah.
But, you had Frank next to you, geeing you up. You had Spencer, Adil was there.
Andy
Lee.
Yeah.
But you kind of kept composed in that moment.
Do you know what it was? It was the lessons I learned from the backlash of the Adamas fight, it didn't humble me, but it like, in the back of my head, I know what the lows are like. So I had a high, but I have to keep my feet firmly down on the ground, because I said it before and I say it again. It's boxing, it's life. You have your good days, you have your bad days. Listen, the next fight I have could be completely shit again. Do you know what I mean? And that's life, that's boxing. God willing, and I really hope it's not. But I just take each day as it comes, and thank God every day.
A final message to boxing fans around the world.
Just thank you to you all. Thank you to you all. Hopefully I can put on a lot of electrifying nights like I did last night in the UK, in Saudi, in America, all around the world. Thank you very much.
Well, listen, have a nice break. You deserve it.
Thank you, Umar.
And let's get some big fights locked in for the next few years.
Thank you very much, Umar.
Well done.
Thank you, bro.